Hello. Okay. Okay. Hello and a very good evening, everyone. So before we begin, I'm sure most of the people here has went to picnic with their families by the beach or with friends. I'm sure it was a very memorable day for them. The day that was spent was on the very tiring activities such as scuba diving, snorkeling, riding on a banana boat, or even running along the shoreline. It was a very tiring activity that contributed to their hunger state. Fortunately enough, their family or friends have provided them food and beverages to their liking. Now, they were enjoying their foods. It was a scrumptious one, but then the beverages came in. On a very hot and sunny evening, their drinks was not enjoyable. They were almost all of them were bummed out. But then the families or friends have brought out a mysterious machine that makes you curious about, that makes them curious about. You saw them, they saw them pouring the water into their machines, and few minutes passed by, and ice suddenly been produced. You're curious as to what the machine is and how does it works. Now they have replied what it is. It is a portable ice dispenser machine. Commonly, they are a freestanding machines that can make loads of ice quickly, and it also enable guests to fill up cups, caddies, buckets with ice unassisted by someone. Now, they were so excited about it that they suddenly forget on how does the machine works. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mirza Daniel. Here are my dear colleagues, Mr. Afiq, Mr. Afzal, Mr. Firdaus, and Mr. Nazrin. We are from Group G2D and also from Mechanical Engineering Program. Now we will be presenting the topic on how does a portable ice machine works, which consists of the components and the working principles. And I hope that this topic would satisfy the long lost curiosity. And without further ado, let's talk about the components of portable ice maker.
Hello, my name is Afiq. So today I'm going to talk about the components of portable ice maker, also known as the ice machine. You can see in the slide, we got a lot of different components on the ice maker. We got tilting lid, inner liner, ice sensor, ice storage basket, operation panel, evaporator, water box, ice pressure, power cord, water drainage screw, water inlet tube, water strainer, water storage tank, compressor, and water pump. But I'm going to only talk about the four of the main components that facilitate the transfer of heat via the coolant with in the ice maker, which is compressor, condenser, expansion water valve, and evaporator. So moving on to the next slide. First component is compressor. So the compressor compress the coolant, turning it into a hot high pressure gas. So the function of the compressor is the compressor is where an ice machine works to heat and pressurize refrigerant. This is a crucial step in preparing the refrigerant for a rapid expansion later. Moving on to the next one, which is condenser. So the condenser is a set of coil pipes on the exterior of the unit that dissipate heat as the coolant transforms into high water pressure. The function of the condenser is to cool refrigerant to change its states from a vapor to a liquid. Moving on to the next component. The next component is called the expansion water valve, or also known as the inlet valve. So inlet valve release the pressure on the coolant, turning it into vapor again and lowering the temperature of the coolant. And the function of the expansion valve is to release the pressure in the refrigerant through rapid expansion. Moving on to the last main component of the potable ice maker, which is known as evaporator. Evaporator is another set of the heat exchanging pipe on the interior of the unit that make the interior of the unit cold. So the function of the evaporator is where the water paste to produce an ice cube. Once the low pressure liquid makes its way to the evaporator, heat from the water migrates through the evaporator plate and into the refrigerant. So this is for me. I'm going to pass on to the next presenter.
Thank you, Afiq. My name is Muhammad Afzal, and for the next one, I will explain about the working principle for the ice cube maker. So I will explain for the first two steps, which is involving the compression, the condensation, and also the evaporation. So the first one, the compressor drives the refrigerant through the condenser, which elevates its temperature and also increase the pressure. The pressure difference drives the refrigerant gas through the condenser. This will cause the refrigerant to lose heat and convert it into liquid, which is the condensation process. Step number two, the refrigerant fluid passes expansion valve, which causes the fluid to expand and turn into gas. This process also known as evaporation. So the evaporation process will draw the heat from the metal pipe and will cause the metal pipe to chill. Next one, I would like to pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Afzal. And as the water flow over the tray, it gradually freezes, building up ice cube at the metal pipe spikes. When you freeze water layer by layer this way, it forms clear ice. After a set amount of time, the ice maker triggers a solenoid valve connected to the heat exchanging coils. Switching this valve changes the path of the refrigerant. The compressor stops forcing the heated gas from the compressor into the narrow condenser. Instead, it forces the gas into a wide bypass tube. The hot gas is cycled back to the evaporator without condensing. When you force this hot gas through the evaporator pipes, the pipes and the ice tray would heat up rapidly, which loosens up the ice cube and making the ice cube slides into the collection tray. And the cycles are repeated until enough ice cube are produced. I believe Afzal and I already explained the detail about the working principle of ice dispenser. I'll pass to Firdaus to wrap up the presentation.
Hello, my name is Firdaus and I will be concluding this presentation. Ice makers are breeded machines. They produce clear ice for making icy drinks and for other purposes as well. Unlike refrigerators and freezers, ice machines make ice pretty quickly. Within 10 minutes, they can make enough ice for several drinks. Portable ice makers are the best for people who like outdoor barbecues, camping, and living the RV life. To sum everything up, a portable ice dispenser machine consists of four main components: compressor, condenser, expansion water valve, and evaporator, through which it transfers heat utilizing a coolant. The system is set to use the compressor to compress the coolant into a hot gas. Uh, sorry, uh, The system is set to use the compressor to compress the coolant into a hot gas and the condenser to dissipate the heat from the gas and transform the coolant into high water pressure. The inlet valve component is to release the coolant's high pressure and convert it into a vapor and lower its temperature. Lastly, the evaporator, which is a series of heat exchanging pipes, produces cold air when the now cold coolant passes through them. In portable ice makers, evaporators are connected to prongs, enabling them to get cold very fast and to form ice when immersed in water. That is all from me and my fellow groupmates. I hope you enjoy our short presentation here, and thank you very much.